Sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Opinionated, outspoken, informative. The Jaguar Journal. Your source for the latest information on Southern University sports and SWAC athletics. A Baton Rouge sports talk tradition.
All right, bright and early on a Saturday morning, it is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning, everybody. I am Perry White. I am on the road reporting live in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, up in my neck of the woods, the 870. Southern University on the road today, taking on the UAPB Golden Lions. And for me, it's the first time I've been out of the studio in a while. My man Mike is back in Baton Rouge, making sure everything is good. But for me, I'm in Pine Bluff this weekend, so I'm out of the studio. But I hope you guys, now I'm hoping I'm not the only Southern fan at this game today when Southern takes on the UAPB Golden Lions. I'm hoping I'm not the only Southern fan today. I'm trying to get my boy Ladarius Skelton up right now. Gonna get him up. I know for sure it'll be he and I at the game. Maybe a handful of other people. My mom's gonna be at the game today for sure. This is her alma mater. This is our one beef of the year when Southern and UAPB play each other. But good morning to everybody out there listening to me in Radio Land back in Baton Rouge in the capital city area on 107.3 FM. And everybody watching on our Facebook and our YouTube live. Glad to have you guys with us. Be sure to keep up with the Jaguar Journal on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on X, on Instagram, Facebook, as well as TikTok, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel. As we keep things rocking and rolling this morning. Look, I got a good show for you. We're going to talk about all types of things. I have my man, LaRon Marbley, who is the play-by-play. He's the voice of the UAPB Golden Lions, going to talk to us. And he's been doing some games with SWAC TV, so he's a great guy to have some insight on today's matchup between Southern and UAPB. Going to have some other guests lined up for you as well as we try to get through today. And listen, it's cold up here in Pine Bluff this morning. I left the temperatures. I think things cooled off back in Baton Rouge right as I left. But it's cold up here in Pine Bluff this morning. So if you headed up today for the ball game, it's going to be nice at about game time at 2 o'clock. But as the evening goes on, you're going to want to bundle up. You're going to want that coat, that jacket, that hoodie, something to throw over you because it is cool up in this part of the country. As we call this, this is kind of like the Midwest. It's like out of the Delta, right at the Midwest point is what we like to call it. Or we call it the Mid-South. How about that? Not the Midwest. We'll give it the Mid-South, but people in Louisiana swear I'm all the way up by Minnesota, right? They swear I'm so far up. I'm near Kansas City somewhere, but I'm not. I'm just only in Arkansas, Pine Bluff to be exact. Got in this week and looking forward to the ball game today. Get a chance. I don't get a chance to come up here often, but when I do, I get a chance to see my mom and get a chance to see some friends and family and other people that I know. And then, it's so much happens in such a short time span because I'm not here for a long time. I'm only here for a good time. Y'all don't know. Look, I'm speaking in lyrics right now. Y'all not ready for that, but I'm only here for a good time. I'm not here for a long time. And let me tell you, these Jaguars better give me a good time today. I come up here to have a good time. We cannot fall short to the golden lines. I can't hear my mom's mouth. I don't want to hear her mouth, and I don't want to hear the people in Pine Bluff. As much noise as I talk about Southern, I'm nervous today. I am nervous today as I sit here on this phone talking to you guys because I'm not sure what to expect from Southern. I know Southern went to Fresno. Southern went to Bethune-Cookman. I myself did not make either one of those trips because of the distance, and I just wasn't feeling it at the time. But I did make the trip to Itta Bena, Mississippi. And that was the last time I saw the Jaguars get a victory. And I put on social media after it was over. I took a picture of it up at the stadium, and I made the caption, "A win is a win." I didn't know that was going to be our last win and our only win. And here we are, November. That was in September. Have you ever, Jaguar fans, gone this long, for so long, in a time frame like this without a victory? It feels funny. It feels different. And it has me nervous today on the road here in Pine Bluff because I don't know what to expect. I saw the Jags play last week against FAMU. I was one of the few people there. A lot of you guys did not show up. I'm sure you may have watched it on SWAC TV, or you may have just saw the game score on your app or whatever else. But it was not a lot of you guys there. Southern has played better. They still came away with a loss, but they have played better. But I also, when I hear people say, well, I saw a difference, FAMU just wasn't a good team either. And it was one of those situations, it was either them or us. And I never thought I'd get to a day to see a Southern and FAMU game with the type of crowd that showed up and the type of records both teams had. It's pretty tough to say, my oh my, how that rivalry has fallen. In my personal opinion, moving forward, I think that FAMU and Southern rivalry is good for a neutral spot location in the future. The home and home doesn't have it anymore. And yeah, we could say because both teams not winning, it would have been a different story if both teams were winning. Both teams were in the hunt for a championship contention. Of course, that would have added a lot more spice to the pot. But both teams are not. FAMU, as you heard my man Vaughn Wilson last week, they're contemplating maybe letting go their coach. I mean, James Colsey today is going to have Jackson State. They're 2-1 with victories over two bad teams in the SWAC, Alcorn and Southern. So I don't know how much merit you put on it, but hey, like I said against Mississippi Valley, a win is a win. You got to take them when you can get them. I'm hoping Southern can get us a win today. But at the end of the day, you want your team to get out there and fight hard. You want the fans to pack the stadium, and you want to put out a product that people will be proud to support. And nobody was really proud to support. And I may come on here and talk my noise, but I'm at the games. Just like I'm in Pine Bluff. I'll be at Alcorn next week. The week after that, I'll be back on the Bluff, and I'll be getting ready for New Orleans for the Bayou Classic. I'll be there. Now, I must admit, I was not there in Daytona. I found something else to do with my time. I must admit, I was not there in Fresno. I found something else to do with my time. But I'm going to take these two games on the back end. This is one of the lesser years Southern is not on the road traveling. Next year, it's going to probably be full of away games, right? With this home slate schedule we had this year with Alabama State, Jackson State, Prairie View, FAMU, Texas Southern. We were loaded. Next year, we're going to have to be road warriors. That's why we need the Jaguars to be good. Because if we giving up at home, I don't want to see what we going to look like on the road next year. Having to travel with no one. Jaguar Nation to be the Jaguar few. It's just be a few, like it's going to be in Pine Bluff today. It's going to be just a few of us. But we going to be there. Cold, bundled up. Does not matter. We're going to be trying to cheer on the Jaguars today up at Golden Lions Stadium, Simmons Bank Field against the UAPB Golden Lions. My neck of the woods, my mom's alma mater. And trust me, people around here cannot wait to talk noise to old Perry White if the Golden Lions find a way to sneak past the Jaguars, which will really hurt my feelings. I'll be embarrassed, actually. Because if we fall in that low to play a close game to Valley and to lose the Pine Bluff, that's one of the tougher years I think I've ever seen. The toughest year I think I've ever seen. Not even I think. The toughest year ever I have seen at Southern. And what they say, my oh my, have the mighty have fallen. The mighty Jaguars have fallen. We got some work to do as a fan base, as a support, as alums, as administrators, as board members, as family. We got to get our Jaguars back to what we know best, winning. Because this right here doesn't feel good. I'm in Pine Bluff. I ain't even said a word to nobody in terms of bragging because I'm nervous. And you know how bad you got to be nervous to play Pine Bluff and say you nervous? That's just where I'm at. All right. We send it back to Mike in the studio. We got to get ready to take a break. When we come back on the other side, we'll continue more of the Jaguar Journal. You guys stay tuned, all right?
Thank you for watching the Southern University Human Jukebox. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody that's listening to us on Talk Radio 107.3 across the Baton Rouge capital city area. I'm Perry White. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody watching on our Facebook and YouTube Live. Good morning to everybody out there. I'm up in Pine Bluff, Arkansas this week. But guess what? Back in the studio, my man Mike is holding it down, and we got a very special guest here in the studio on the live line with us this morning, because guess what? It's time to get out there and make some decisions. And one of those decisions is supporting the Council on Aging here in Baton Rouge. And I'm a big fan of the Council on Aging and what they do for the seniors of this community and what they've done for the parish of East Baton Rouge. And nobody better to talk about it than the CEO of the East Baton Rouge Council on Aging, Mrs. Tasha Clark Amar. Good morning, Mrs. Amar.
Good morning, Perry. Thank you so much for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk about the great works of the East Baton Rouge Council on Aging.
Let's talk about the great work that you guys do, because I've been in areas to see how excited seniors are. When you mention EBR, COA, the seniors get excited. And I mean, if it's nothing more than a meal, or if it's nothing more than a T-shirt, if it's nothing more than an event, if it's nothing more than anything that you guys do, because you do so much for the seniors. And talk about that, the importance of giving back to those who paved the way for us, and that's mean taking care of our well-seasoned population within our community.
You know, it's important that we make sure that we take care of the seniors of this parish. It's critically important, because we don't want them to be the forgotten part of our population, because they've done so much for us. They've brought us so far. They've taken us a mighty long way, and we need to make sure that we recognize that they have earned their stripes, and they have earned the opportunity for us to dedicate our time and commitment and our resources to them. And so at the Council on Aging, I have the great opportunity to lead in a force of about 130 people, and all we do all day is care on and love on our seniors. We provide them with meals in their homes and meals at the 22 senior center locations that we have. Do you know, since we got our millage in 2016, we have provided over 8 million meals to seniors all across this parish? It's phenomenal. We have 300,000 seniors participating in activities every year that we put on. We got dances. We're building apartment complexes so that seniors can have somewhere to live that's decent, that's safe, that's affordable, and that they can age in place. So I count it an honor and a privilege to work for those who have worked for us so many long years.
And, you know, for a lot of our listeners out there, we have a well-seasoned audience out there that are Jaguar fans. So I know when you go around, you see a lot of Jaguar paraphernalia at a lot of these senior centers as well.
Oh, yeah. They love the Jags. They rep and support Southern. And let me tell you, Perry, they give me a hard time, you know, because it's all HBCU love. But, you know, I am a Florida A&M Rattler.
I'm not going to talk about what happened last weekend, okay?
We're not going to talk about it. But I am a Rattler. And one thing I know, and the same thing you know, that your school made you who you are today, gave you what you need to be as successful as you are today. So I appreciate both schools. And just a little history on me, I'm a Southern Lab kitten. You know, I spent most of my life on campus. Hence why I went to Florida A&M, because I got tired of looking at the campus. But anyway.
Say, let me take a break.
Look, the lab is it.
Say, let me take a break. But, you know, most importantly, why I admire you, and I say this publicly, and I know sometimes scrutiny comes with the one who sits at the top, but I have seen the work that you and your staff have done in this parish over the years. And I'm talking about if it's nothing more than raising the property value in the neighborhood by building something new, if it's nothing more than making sure that these seniors have a meal, if it's nothing more than making sure that these seniors have something to do each and every day so they won't be at home by themselves or with no family, if it's nothing more than having events that make them feel young again and get them energized, you know, like blind dating, is that what it's called? You know, like whatever the case.
It was senior speed dating.
Speed dating, you know. So whatever the case may be, I have seen what you've done for this community, and I don't know how anybody can look back and say, especially when you look from then to now, and say, man, this isn't worth it. And for me, it's very much so worth it, because I have seen the work that you and the people involved within your staff and so many others, what you guys have done to build over the years, and talk about that in terms of just the plan that you had in place. And one thing about having a plan, but to execute it and watch it go from a vision to a reality.
That's right. So, Perry, we started the agency when I became the CEO. We started with about a $650,000 deficit, and we worked our way out of that deficit into a positive. And then we decided we don't have enough money to do the things that we need to do to really serve and impact the seniors in this parish. So we ran for a dedicated millage back in 2016, and we ran and we worked hard. And with $20,000, we ran and won a parish-wide election, right? And so we had a lot of seniors that were working. We call it our Great Army. They were activated, and they were working, and they were calling, and they were at the churches. And so we were able to acquire this millage. And since then, we went from negative 650 to being an agency that by the end of this 10-year millage, we will have had over $100 million, right? And so there is no other agency in our parish and in our state that's led that has that kind of money, except for maybe a housing authority kind of property program. But so we are honored to make sure that we do everything. We dot our I's, we cross our T's, and scrutiny comes. But what we know is all in what you do. And we learned a long time ago that we got more people that's for us than against us. And long as we do our work, and long as we do the things that we're supposed to be doing, we don't worry about scrutiny because we know that God got us, right? And so we decided that 5 things we need to make sure we accomplish for the seniors. We don't want another senior hungry and sitting on a waiting list to get a meal. We don't have waiting lists. We eradicated that. And anybody who calls in here for a meal gets a meal. We also wanted to go and increase the number of senior centers. So seniors will have more opportunities to break social isolation and go fellowship and do things that keep their minds stimulated at the senior centers. And we went from 8 senior centers to 22 senior centers in the course of less than 8 years. And then we decided that the third pillar was we need housing. A lot of our seniors lost their property during the Great Flood, and they walked off from it, and they couldn't get enough money to rebuild it. So we created housing. Right now we got 216 units of housing across this parish, right? And we're on to the next one. We're in the process of building another one. We got a HUD award to build a new housing place out in Baker, and so we're working on housing. And then lastly, activities that keep seniors motivated, right, and encourage. And in order for seniors to get to the senior centers, we had to have transportation. We have buses, where we pick up our seniors, we bring them to the doctor, we bring them to the senior center, we take them on field trips, we take them to the grocery store, and we did that with a grant. So we used the money that you all gave us to leverage, to do a lot of things, and then the money to feed seniors, right? And so it's critically important that we continue to be able to do these kind of services.
For me, I always talk about as a citizen of this community, seeing your tax dollars at work. And I must say, I'm very proud to see my tax dollars at work. And I think if others really took the time to pay attention, because most people, if you don't have anyone that is a seasoned citizen of this community, or, or if you just haven't, sometimes it's things that you just don't see. But I see it, and I know what you guys do. And talk about that, just the tax dollars at work and making sure that it goes directly back into the community to help the very citizens that are taking care of paying it.
That's right. And not only do we help the very citizens, but these tax dollars help people your age and my age, because they're caregivers of seniors in their family or in their churches. So we take the burden off a lot of the caregivers, because they have a place for their senior to go while they're working, or they have food that the senior can heat up and eat while they're going to work. So we not only provide services to the seasoned citizen, we also help the family member. And it's important to have places like this so that folks and seniors have somewhere to go, that they can have an opportunity to get out of the house, take a breather, a place of respite where you don't have to worry about your woes and your ailments or your finances, that you can come and set that stuff aside and come out and fellowship, right? And so, as the seniors always tell me, one day, if you keep living, you'll have a chair at the senior center. You'll be a senior yourself. So you might as well make your investment early, rather sooner than later.
Let me ask you this. What is the future for East Baton Rouge Council on Aging under your leadership?
So in the future, what we see in the future is, of course, more housing development. There is a deficit in senior housing in this parish and in this community. over 50 to 60% where folks don't have anywhere to live. There's a lot of seniors still living at home with different family members. So we most definitely want to concentrate on senior housing. We want to concentrate on teaching our seniors how to take the house or the property that you do have and modify it so that you can age in place in the home that you own. We want to help our seniors with health insurance and property insurance, and also, making sure that the property that you do have, that you set up something that you know how you want it to go and how you want to leave it. So we're focusing on that. And then we also are going to focus on, doing things that seniors, getting them back into the workforce if they want to, getting them computer trained, letting them recognize scams, teaching them AI so that they can recognize how not to be defrauded. So those are some of the things that we're going to focus on in the next 10 years once we get off the ballot on November 15th.
Are you able to talk about that?
I can, but I can't say, the two words. But, yeah, I can talk about it. So we are on the ballot to renew our millage, which is coming up on November the 15th. And we just want to encourage folks, if you've seen our work, you have a senior in your house or in your family, and they benefit or they can benefit, that you consider, just going to vote and doing the right thing for the East Baton Rouge Council on Age.
Let me ask you this. For any senior that's out there listening, say, man, maybe this got past me and I didn't know about it. Give the information for them to find out about a senior center that they can join and whatever else to be a part of the East Baton Rouge Council on Aging today.
It's two easy ways. The easiest way that we find for seniors, they can call our office at 225-923-8000, and somebody will speak to them and tell them how they join and how they can become a part of the great things that we're doing. You can check out our website at www.ebrcoa.org, and you can find out more information there. Also, one thing about us, we're fully transparent. You can see our last 8 years of audit. You can see we have very clean audits. No findings in the last 2 or 3 of them. We have board minutes. We have the application to join. We have all this information on our website, and you can take your time and look at it, or have your caregiver or your family member to look at it. But we welcome anyone that wants to come, right? And at the end of the day, we're gonna do what we need to do to take care of seniors in this parish.
And what I do like, you bring them into the world of age of technology. You guys do a
That's
live to communicate with them. And when I get a chance to watch that, listen, you'll be amazed at how many of these seniors are on there and looking. They're interacting. So for those who think they don't know about technology, they're commenting, they're liking, they're sharing. They're every bit of a part of this technological world. And guess what? They're winning technology stuff as well.
That's it. And look, we also have a program called Tech It Forward, where every week a different senior center is in a couple of our computer labs, and we're teaching them all the latest and greatest in technology. We have an intergenerational program over on Gus Young, where our studio is, where we have the youth and the seniors. They get together. They have Stream Saturdays and STEM Saturdays, and they do all kind of activities. And the seniors teach these youth about respect and dignity and being a part of a community and giving back. And the youth teach the seniors how to use your iPhone, how to listen to Lil Boosie, how to use the website, and how to use the technology that they do have, how to use the Ring doorbell. They talk on the phone with the youth, and so we're bridging the gap between the two generations.
Yeah, because back in my day, when the seasoned citizens who would be like my great grandmother and grandmother, anybody of that age, they just wanted how to come in and change the channel to channel 3 so I can put that VHS on and watch this movie. So
that's it. Well, now these kids teaching these seniors how to go on websites and how to do TikTok. Matter of fact, they have done some TikTok videos together. They teaching these seniors all kind of things. I said, now don't take them too far, because we're not going to be able to handle it.
Tasha, one last time before we get ready to get up out of here, give everybody out there the information in terms of, is anybody out there who's listening, have a family member, anything to say, you know what, I want to get them to be a part of the East Baton Rouge Council on Aging, be a part of the events, join one of the senior centers, and figure out how do I then move forward with this agency.
You can go to a senior center that's closest to you, or you could call our main office at 225-923-8000. We will get you connected. We want to serve your family member. We want to serve seniors, and we'll make sure that you get plugged in. We do a lot of things. Senior prom. Matter of fact, we're having a food giveaway on Monday. on Monday the 3rd because of the SNAP benefits that's been cut. And so we're going to provide thousands of seniors with four food boxes with meat and fresh produce. And so you need to get tapped in if you don't even want to go to a senior center every day. We help pay light bills. We help pay tax bills. We do quite a bit. We help do home modifications. We install grab bars in the shower, all kind of things. So call the Council on Aging, get involved, get engaged, and let your tax dollars help you.
Thank you, Tasha. And this, for everybody out there listening to voice of Mrs. Tasha Clark Amar. She is the CEO of the East Baton Rouge Council on Aging. A wonderful work of community. And guess what? We're not going to hold it against her because she a FAMU rattler. It's all love.
It's all love. It's all love. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you for all the things that you do to support the community and all the things that you do to help the seniors of this parish. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tasha. Hey, appreciate you for all that you do. All right, everybody, let's get ready to take a break. We'll get ready to come back on the side. We'll continue more of the Jaguar Journal.
The SU Band will perform to you. Red Light Special, Director, Band Director Band. Associate Director Band, Mr. William Young.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. I am Perry White. I'm all the way up in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, supporting those Jaguars this weekend, taking on the Golden Lions of UAPB, my mom's alma mater. This our house divided weekend right here, so no way I can miss it. Even though my Jaguars were struggling a little bit, we're asking for a win. There's no way I can miss this weekend coming up here and cheering on the Jags. Good morning to everybody back in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Listen to us on Talk 107.3 FM, and everybody across our Facebook and our YouTube. Good morning to you guys, and very special guest here on the show. It's not his first time, but he's championship caliber. And guess what? The season is getting going for Southern University women's bowling. Nobody better to talk about it than Southern University head women's bowling coach, my man, Coach Barry Doyle. Good morning, Coach Doyle.
Good morning.
How you doing, man? Wake on up for me. Wake on up.
I am waking up. We early rise. We start bowling at about 9 in the morning.
Let me talk to you about that, man, because this week you guys currently are over in Houston, Texas. Talk about what's going on over in Houston and what you're getting ready for this season.
Yes, it's our first tournament of the year. We're here, Sam Houston State, the Bearcat Classic. There's about 14, 16 teams here, top 20 teams. Sam Houston, the host, Louisiana Tech, Tulane. There's, a few other teams. Some SWAC schools are here. We're ready to get our feet wet, man. We're going to bowl 5 games today, Friday. We're going to bowl 5 games on Saturday and 4 games on Sunday.
Let me ask you this as you talk about getting this thing going, man. Finishing up last year, you guys, for 2 straight years, you were like right there and just came up short. And last year, I believe it was Prairie View that ended up ending you. And Prairie View was a very, very low seed and found themselves in the championship. Am I correct? That was Prairie View, right?
It was Prairie View.
And the year before, wasn't it Alabama State?
Alabama State, yes.
Let's talk about the past 2 years, because at the end of the day, you are building something there at Southern.
Yeah, last year Prairie View, it's kind of like basketball, man. They got hot. They got hot that weekend, and they steamrolled. I think they were a 5th seed, and man, they steamrolled everybody. And we faced them in the match play, and I think they beat us. And and they put us in a losers bracket, and we had to come out of the losers bracket. We beat Jackson State to make it back to the finals. And we were on television. I thought, we had the seniors, 4 seniors that year, 5 seniors, I can't remember, but and I thought we were primed and ready. They were hot, but we were seasoned, and I felt like we were going to be able to prevail. But I mean, like I said, it's kind of like basketball. They came in hot and they pulled it off.
Coaching bowling, what are the techniques that goes into, because I bowl recreationally, but I'm not good. I'm just the dude that tries to power it down the lane and knock down as many pins as I can. But on a collegiate level where you guys compete, there's techniques to it. There's fundamentals to it. For you teaching these young ladies how to be champions of bowling, what is that like for you as you develop them from when they come into the program to when they leave the program?
Yeah, well, it's a lot more to it than, Friday night bowling with the beer and your buddies.
That's me all the way.
Yeah, it's 60 feet of lane, and we bowl, and they take oil, and they can put, different amounts of oil on the lane, 40 feet, 38 feet, 44 feet. And that just changes, how the ball rolls down the lane. And, of course, the ladies, they hook the ball a lot. So, that's why we travel with, anywhere from 24 to 36 balls per tournament. You got to have different balls, different surfaces for different, lane conditions. And, it's challenging. There's some math to it, some angles to it. It's a lot more challenging than just throwing it down and, powering. There is power, but there's also finesse. There's a lot goes into it. And, this year I have 4 freshmen. I'm having fun, teaching them, and they're eager, and they're just, eager to learn, and the ears are wide open, and they'll run through walls for you, and I'm kind of, I got used to my seniors, but it's fun having these freshmen. I got 1 sophomore, 1 senior, and 4 freshmen, and it's kind of like I get to coach again and get to lead and show, and it's just we're having a fun year so far. Can't wait for them to get on the lane today, and get the feet wet, really, because I got about 3 freshmen that are going to start. I'm not afraid to start a freshman, and I think we got some pretty good ones at Southern University.
Those seniors, you kind of be like, they got it, but those freshmen, you got to get back on it again. Like, no, they don't got it. We got to get them right. That's what keeps you on your toes as a coach. And as you talk about those freshmen, what is recruiting like in the bowling world? Or do you go somewhere and you catch somebody bowling, like, who is that? Or are you at tournaments? How does recruiting work for bowling? And what are you looking for out of a recruit to come be a part of your bowling program?
Well, there's high school bowling across the country. We have high school bowling here in Louisiana. There's a a big tournament every year. It's called Junior Gold, and it's normally, in Detroit, or most times it's up north. But there'll be about 5,000 bowlers there, boys and girls, high school, and so I make that trip every year. But I also go around to, the Texas areas, the Mississippi areas, and check out high school bowling. They have local tournaments. This year, I have young ladies from Jackson, Mississippi, Houston, Texas, Bogota, Colombia. We have, we have one from Chicago, Detroit, and Alexandria, Louisiana.
As you start to talk, you're naming place all across this globe, and not only just the nation of having students in, but for you, what does this look like SWAC level to compete? Because you have gone out and got some wins against some nationally ranked teams over the years at these tournaments. But what does SWAC level bowling look like these days on the women's side?
It has definitely improved a lot over the years. The caliber of bowlers that are being recruited, they're a lot better than years past. Not only myself, but these other coaches are going out across the country and out of the country, getting bowlers from other countries to bowl. They compete over like in the South America, and I know coaches have even gone over to the Asian continent to get bowlers. So it's a worldwide sport. And it's spreading, and especially on the female side, the girls get scholarships, and it's another way for a kid to go to school. So it's being utilized in a good way. It has increased female bowling tremendously. It's being recognized, on television, ESPN. They just named bowling as an Olympic sport, which is great. And so in a few years, it's going to be real big, and I'm just glad to be a part of it and able to represent Southern University and put a good team out there and go to war striking with everybody.
I'm so curious because often I get a chance to talk to coaches in sports to talk about the transfer portal and NIL. What does this look like in the world of bowling with the transfer portal and NIL in your level?
Transfer portal is there. We don't, now I know in football they got thousands players. We get 40, 50, 60 girls in the portal a year. So, we don't nearly get as much fun as the football and basketball coaches. But, we use the portal, and NIL hasn't really hit the bowling yet. I know there has been some young ladies that at some of the big schools, like the Vanderbilts, Nebraskas, things like that. I know they've had some NIL deals happen, but not on the football, basketball scale. But there are NIL deals out there where the kids get products and things from NIL deals, and they get to do a little representation on social media and stuff. So it's coming. It's coming.
Let me ask you this: as you guys move forward in the season, what is the rest of the season aside from when you guys are in Houston dealing with Sam Houston, the Invitational this weekend? What is in the future for you guys moving forward through the season?
We're on the road the next 3 weeks. We leave here, we go home, we go to we go to Dallas, Texas next weekend for the Louisiana Tech Bulldog Classic. Then we're gonna come home and fly to Chicago. We're going to McKendree University. That's the first time we've ever been, Southern has ever been to that tournament. It's in the Chicago area. We're going to go there, and then we come back, and then we're going to be closer to home, and we're going to finish out the fall at Tulane in New Orleans, like the week before the Bayou Classic. So we got four trips this fall, and then when the girls get back in January, we start SWAC play. SWAC play is going to start off in Houston. Prairie View is going to be the host, and then we go to Huntsville, Alabama for the second roundup. Alabama A&M's hosting that. And we have a couple. We're hosting a tournament on Valentine's weekend here in Baton Rouge, so we want all Jaguar fans to come out and support the bowling team. We want to pack the house for real, so they can come see how much fun it is, how loud it is, how crazy it is. There's going to be two tournaments actually here in Baton Rouge this year. One of our SWAC schools is hosting a tournament here also. So there'll be two opportunities for Jaguar fans to come out and support the bowling team, see what it's about. see what the 3-time champ's doing.
And where would that be located? Where for us here, local, where would that be?
All-Star Lanes on Airline Highway. It used to be called Don Carter's, but it's now All-Star Lanes right there by 12, right there off the airline by Cracker Barrel.
Let me ask you now, a bowling environment for the people that show up, do you got to be quiet like golf? Can you talk noise? Can you yell?
No.
How does this work?
Not at all. The girls have cheers, and on and off the lanes, team cheers. So it's loud. You got balls hitting pins. You got machines setting up pins. You got girls cheering. Hey, I get pumped up, man. I give a growl and a roar and high five and fist pumps. So, it's crazy fun, man. It's not. I think people got it confused. No, it's nowhere near golf. We don't hold up hush signs.
Okay.
We get loud.
I just wanted to make sure if I come in there loud like Perry White is, that I don't get kicked out, because it's like you're interrupting what they need to do to concentrate. So I just wanted to make sure that.
No, last year, man, the soccer team walked in and got crunked at that tournament. So it was fun.
That's what I'm talking about, getting the support from the other programs within the athletic department. And for you, let everybody know out there how they can keep up with the bowling program, with you guys, and moving forward.
Well, we always put our tournaments on Facebook Live. We'll do live 4 or 5 hours on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, where you can watch us bowling live. But also, SWAC TV, the new app that they have out, they're supposed to be hosting the SWAC tournament on SWAC TV, and that'll be January 16th, 17th weekend, and like the first weekend of February. And then the SWAC championship tournament is like the March 20th weekend. So we'll be on SWAC TV for those 3 events. And so, yeah, you could follow us on Facebook, Instagram. You can watch us live on Facebook Live. And we pretty much do it on every tournament. Some tournaments we go to, they put it on Bowl TV, which is free, and you can watch us there too. So.
And what's you guys handle on social media?
Oh, my God. I think it's just give me a second. Let me pull it up and make sure I say it right.
Oh, go ahead. Hey, it ain't no rush. We want to make sure we get it right for the people can follow you and keep up with you.
We are we are Southern. Oh, come on. Where'd you go? Southern Lady Jags Bowling. That's our Facebook page, Southern Lady Jags Bowling. And you can friend us or, and follow the team there, and you can watch us live on Facebook Live, man. Or if you pull my name up, you can also, Barry Doyle, you could pull it up there too. So. And
maybe we add with Barry Doyle, we're talking SWAC Coach of the Year, back-to-back years. Can we put some respect on your name too?
You missed one on the back. It's back-to-back-to-back.
Oh, look, you said I ain't put enough respect. 3 times back-to-back-to-back Coach of the Year.
Yeah, we had 3 good years, man. We regular season champs 3 years in a row, and Coach of the Year 3 years in a row. We made it on ESPN 3 out of 4 years. So the bowling program is alive and well. We're not just a football school or a basketball school. We're a bowling school too now. So we're gonna keep adding that to that.
I appreciate that, man, and thank you for all that you do with helping those young ladies not only be the student athlete, but to also graduate and become something other than, just anybody in life. They're going off and getting careers and getting an education from Southern University. And thank you for all that you do to continue to have them competing on the championship level.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. All right, everybody, if you're listening, that is the voice of Southern University women's bowling coach, Coach Barry Doyle. Back-to-back-to-back. Let me make sure we put some respect on that. SWAC Coach of the Year. So let's get ready to take a break. We come back on the other side. We get ready to close out the top of the hour. You guys stay tuned. More to Jaguar Journal. All right, everybody. We are back. It's the Jaguar Journal. I'm Perry White. I am on the road in Pine Bluff, Arkansas this weekend as the Southern Jaguars take on the Golden Lions of UAPB. House divided in my neck of the woods because a lot of my friends and family are Golden Lions, right? And I'm the lone Jaguar. Nobody in my family went to Southern. Nobody in my family thought about Southern. And they constantly ask me, why did you want to go down there and be with them people? Well, because I am one of them people, all right? I'm a Jaguar. Got my degree, worked hard, love it. And that's why I'm probably going to be one of the few fans here today at 2 o'clock as the Jaguars and the Golden Lions kick off here in Pine Bluff, Arkansas at Golden Lions Stadium, Simmons Bank Field, man. Look, I'm just excited to be, well, am I excited? I'm really kind of nervous, and I've never really been in this situation, but I don't know what to expect. The Jaguars gave us a lot last week to cheer for against FAMU, but they did not get the victory. They let FAMU get it on the back end, and we'll talk more about that because in the top of the hour when we come out of the break, I'm going to have my man LaRon Marbley, who is the voice of the UAPB Golden Lions, talk to me about what to look for out of this Golden Lion football team, as well as he's been doing play-by-play for SWAC TV this year. As you know, they've had different analysts and play-by-play guys for SWAC TV, and he is one of them. So he's going to be calling the game today between Southern and UAPB. So he's just going to be good to have conversation with and talk about this ball game. And we'll talk about some other games around the SWAC from last week as well as this week. So you guys stay tuned. We're at the top of the hour. My man Mike back in the studio. I'm pretty sure if I was there, he'd be throwing up a signal telling me I need to get up out of here. So we're at the top of the hour. You guys stay tuned. We'll be right back. More of the Jaguar Journal. right, everybody, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. I am Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. I'm in Pine Bluff, Arkansas this weekend for the UAPB Golden Lions taking on the Southern University Jaguars. And listen, good morning to everybody back in Baton Rouge, tuned in this morning on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area. Good morning to have you guys with us. And everybody watching on our Facebook and YouTube Live, good morning to you guys as well. Be sure to keep up with the Jaguar Journal. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on X. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, as well as the YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button. Guess what? It costs nothing. We don't need to know nothing from you. No Social Security, know how many kids you're carrying, none of that. Just your love and support as we continue to rock and roll. And I'm rocking and rolling in Pine Bluff bright and early this Saturday morning because guess what? It is game day. The Southern Jaguars on the road. Tough loss last week against Florida A&M, but now as we look forward to the Golden Lions of UAPB, nobody better to talk about it than one of my homeboys from right here in the 870. My man, he's the voice of the UAPB Golden Lions. He's going to be calling the game today on SWAC TV. My man, LaRon Marbley. Good morning, LaRon.
Good morning, my man, Perry, man, and welcome home, brother.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. And listen, I listen to you all the time because Floyd Donald says you're the hardest working man in the business, man. And when I listen to your reports, you get reports on everybody across the state. I said, man, I wonder how many takes does it take for him to get that thing down pat?
Some days better than others, my brother. Some days easier than others.
My man, LaRon, hey, listen, he a D-Way Cardinal for y'all don't know. That's Dollaway.
That's right.
And I'm a Pine Bluff High Zebra. So, they've combined both schools. So now we all together now, LaRon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One big happy family now, and it was a good transition, man. And of course, now here in Pine Bluff, the population not what it used to be, so it kind of made sense that kind of combine the schools.
Let's talk about today's matchup, man. Southern comes into town, taking on the UAPB Golden Lions, and for you've been able to call the games this year on SWAC TV and everything else, being the voice of the Golden Lions, man. UAPB struggled last week against Bethune-Cookman on the road. It was Bethune-Cookman's homecoming. Well, guess what? It didn't matter. Southern, we did the same thing. And actually, it was worse for us. It was 45-14. I was thinking sore for you guys was 31-14. But what have you seen out of the Golden Lions thus far this year under Coach Alonzo Hampton?
Well, we do have a decent team. We have a pretty good team. I think a lot of times we don't pay enough attention to details, just the small things, and it kind of let games get away from us. A couple of weeks ago, we had Grambling, and as you know, we had the lightning delay, and when we came out, had 3 possessions in the red zone, only to get field goals out of them, and Grambling went down and scored, and we lost in that game. So kind of was like that at Bethune-Cookman as well. They played well the first half. It was 14-7 at halftime. Got away from us kind of in the second half. Went up 21-14 and then 28-14, and we just couldn't get in the end zone, man. Had a lot of drops and a few miscues. So we just have to shore up the small things and pay more attention to details. And we probably could come out on the better end of those scores.
For everybody out there, UAPB and Bethune-Cookman game last week, 31-14 was the final score over in Daytona Beach. Guess what? The Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman, they were 5 of 14 on third down, 1 of 2 on fourth down, 417 total yards in that game, 170 in the air, 247 on the ground. So if Southern's think they're going to have a good day, Southern likes to run the ball, and giving up 247 to Bethune-Cookman has to be a spot where you circle for Southern University. On the other side for today's opponent, the Golden Lions, they were 6 of 16 on third down, 0 of 2 on fourth down for 297 total yards, 185 in the air, 112 on the ground, and a turnover in the ball game by way of a fumble. And let's look at some players for UAPB who we'll see today on SWAC TV. And let's start with the quarterback, LaRon. Christian Peters, who was 20 of 41 last week for 185 yards and a touchdown. He also had 9 carries for 34 yards. But in the backfield with him would be Jalen Jennings for 11 carries, 41 yards last week against Bethune-Cookman and 1 touchdown. Ellis Stewart led you guys in receptions, 4 receptions for 56 yards, averaged 14 yards with as long as 19. Looking at the Golden Lions offense, it starts with Christian Peters, but talk about the rest of the cast around him.
Absolutely, and you said it all really revolves around that offensive line. The way how far your offensive line goes, that's how far your team really goes. And as well as on defense, I mean, if you can't sustain drives and give your defense a breather, then you're going to be in a little trouble. But as for specialty players, Christian Peters, he's had a great year so far. He's like fourth in the SWAC in passing average passing yards per game at just over 176. So he's been pretty smart and mature. You see his maturity on the football field. Has 8 touchdown passes. Do have 8 interceptions on the year. But again, when you're receivers and running backs, you have to help your quarterback out a little bit. And you mentioned Ellis Stewart, one of the top receivers. You also have to watch out for KJ Burke. He's a speedster and also a threat in the special teams as well. So he has some weapons on the field that he can go to as well.
You know, you're talking about the trenches for UAPB. What does that depth look like in the trenches on the O-line for them, and as well as as they say, the camaraderie? How many of those guys have been a part of the program, or is it transfer portal heavy for the Golden Lions there?
Well, it's a little bit of mixture of both. Of course, we had the preseason offensive line, Jeremiah. His last name escapes me at the moment, but he was one of the top players in the conference last year, and he came back preseason conference. So he anchors that offensive line. And, again, they do a pretty good job. I thought last week that Peters maybe left the pocket a little bit too early some of the times. And, that helps as well. When you have a lot of confidence in your front five, then you're more apt to stick it out in the pocket. And I think he may have bailed a couple of times a little bit early. So, again, it's going to depend on that offensive line anchored by Jeremiah. If he can control that line of scrimmage, then I think we can have some success against you guys today. Let's
look at the Golden Lions into this season. They started the season over in Lubbock, taking on a top 25 program in Texas Tech. Final score 67-7. They went on to take on in-state FCS, University of Central Arkansas, the Bears, 41-17, the final in that one. UAPB had got up early in that one, but miscues ended up getting UCA to score on the next 5 straight drives in that ball game as they won 41-17. Then the Golden Lions took on Lincoln. They seem to be passed around by every school in the SWAC. 34-8 was the final. The Golden Lions won that one. Then over in the Southern Heritage Classic, it was an all-SWAC affair for the first time in a long time as the Golden Lions took on the Alcorn State Braves. UAPB got his first SWAC victory of the season, 24-20 in that one. Then they went on the road down to Houston, played the game at Houston Christian. Texas Southern was the opponent, 51-7. Texas Southern all over the Golden Lions. And then as he talked about returning home, you had homecoming. Then the next week, and let me tell you, LaRon, I was public about how I did not like was Westgate. Never put them on the schedule. ESPN don't even recognize. I never want to see Westgate on the schedule ever again. I was telling people I think they practice in a parking lot behind an abandoned building. That's just where I thought about the program. Don't put them back on there. That does nothing for the program. But then Grambling came to town, and this was one because of that long lightning delay. I heard it sound like UAPB had an opportunity and squandered it late, and Grambling walked away 20-16, and then going on the road last week at Bethune-Cookman 31-14 is the final. Then the outlook for the rest of the season after today with the Jaguars, the Golden Lions to take on Florida A&M at home before going on the road to take on Prairie View and ending the season out against Bama State, man. That's some tough competition down the stretch when you look at Prairie View, who's right now at the top of the SWAC West, and then you look at Alabama State, who's still in contention in the SWAC East. But I'll jump on the other side of things. We talked about the offense. Defensively, what are the Golden Lions looking like this year?
Well, they play pretty well defensively. Again, we refer to the offensive line. Of course, no matter how good your defense is, you can't leave them on the field, for long periods of time. Eventually, you're going to give up. You're going to give up some points if you're spending extended time on the football field. But one of the top players on this defensive team for the Golden Lions, you have Denarius Hilliard. He played a very good game last week. And again, defense played pretty well. Went into the half only down 14-7 against Bethune-Cookman last week. So they did a pretty good job. And ranking in the SWAC, we're about midway in the SWAC as far as defensively. So they can do some things on defense. They have a pretty good secondary as well. But again, you have to be able to get them off the football field and give them some breathers if you're the offensive side of the ball.
Let me ask you this, because our fans here, of course, was disgruntled with Terrence Graves. Terrence Graves was ultimately let go and fired here at Southern University after a year and a half. He took us to the SWAC championship last year, LaRon, but it is tough in the Bluff when you talk about, because, they call Baton Rouge Southern is on the Bluff as well.
Right,
and when I say it's tough in the Bluff, I'm talking about here, but I know it's tough in the Bluff, in Pine Bluff as well. So what are the fan base saying about Lonzo Hampton in his third year at UAPB, and does not really seem like he can get them over the hump to be in contention for a SWAC Western Division title?
Well, the thing about it is, when you're building a program or revamping a program, it's going to take you at least 3 years before you can implement your brand of football, try to get the type of players that you want in to fit your brand of football. And, of course, being in the third year, you want to see, starting to win some of those close ball games or finishing up. And that's one of the things I know that he stresses to his team, being able to finish. And again, Perry, that's one of the things. You have to finish off plays. You have to finish off games. You have to finish off, the conference. So that's the thing that he's steady trying to instill in this program. And again, it's going to take you at least 3 years, 3 to 4 years before you're going to start seeing results. And, if you're just an average fan or something, you may not know that. You want to see people come in and you want to see winning right now. You mentioned y'all's situation.
You got to win right now, LaRon, in Baton Rouge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's kind of the mentality now. And, in the NIL era, each year is going to be an adventure because you just never know what will happen from year to year. So I think he's going about the right way of doing it, starting with the classroom and doing things correctly that way. And I think he's going about the right way of doing it. But I know he, as well as his staff and the players, they want to see results on the football field. And a lot of the fans want to see it as well. So you know how it goes in football, man. You know how it goes.
Is this his last year on his contract, or does he have another year left?
I want to say this is the final year contract. Don't quote me on that, but I think this is his final year.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you now. This show different.
Mm-hmm.
I think y'all can do better. That's all. I'm going to leave it at that. But listen, I better not say that too soon before y'all fool around and beat Southern today, because I'm telling you, LaRon, I'm nervous. I've never seen the Jaguars look the way that we looked this year. For many, this is Southern's worst start, and we're going back past the 70s, LaRon, the 70s. That's how far back it's been since Southern has staggered itself into a game with only one win on the season. The Jaguars fell short to Florida A&M last week at home here in Baton Rouge. Hey, it poured down before the game, but guys said, you know what, I like the Jaguars just enough to give you some sunlight as we got this thing kicked off last week. Florida A&M getting the victory 43-35 over the Jaguars. Florida A&M were 8 of 14 on third down, 547 total yards the Rattlers were able to put up on us, 287 in the air, 260 on the ground, 0 turnovers. Now, let's talk about my Jaguars. 9 of 15 on third down, 414 total yards of offense, 197 in the air, 217 on the ground. And listen, it was the Trey Holly show last week, and I think a lot of Southern fans wanted to see him get the carries. 26 carries for 145 yards, 2 touchdowns, had his longest run of the day for 40 yards. Then Ashton Stothard, who's the third-string quarterback, has come in. He started the past few games. He was 12 of 28 for 197 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He also had 9 carries for 36 yards. Darren Morris led all receivers with 4 receptions and 82 yards in this ball game with his longest one of 33. The Jaguars, although put up 35 points, still came up short. Defense seems to be the issue, and Florida A&M really attacked Southern's interior. They found a weak spot. They said, you know what, we can run it on Southern. And when you go back and you look at Florida A&M's biggest plays in that ball game, it was all right up the gut. One by R.J. Johnson, the quarterback, taking off into the end zone. Thad Franklin Jr. found it, and as well as Jamal Haley, all had success last week as the Jaguars had a tough time stopping the run game of Florida A&M. And what was interesting about this, Florida A&M came into this ball game against Southern ranked dead last in the SWAC in rush offense, barely averaging 100 yards a game running the ball. And what did they do? They said, to hell with it. If it's Southern, we can run the ball on us, and that's exactly what they did to get the victory 43-35. LaRon, do you got a minute to hold on? I got to take a break and talk about some other games around the SWAC today.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody, let's get ready to take a break. Got my man LaRon Marble, who is the voice of the UAPB Golden Lions, and he will be calling the game today on SWAC TV. Joining me this morning, we're just talking about the ball game between Southern and UAPB. We're going to look around the SWAC last week as well as this week, so you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
Thank you for watching the Southern University Human Jukebox. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
All right, everybody, we're back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. I am Perry White. I'm on the road this weekend. It's been a while. Look, when was the last time I was on the road? Week 1, Southern versus Mississippi Valley up in Itta, Mississippi. Now I'm back in the Delta again. This time I'm in Pine Bluff. I'm on the other side of the Mississippi River, up in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, as the Golden Lions of UAPB taking on my Southern University Jaguars, who we staggering, and we're barely breathing right now, LaRon. And if anybody's out there been listening to the show, got my man LaRon Marbley right here with me this morning. He is the voice of the UAPB Golden Lions. He will be calling the game for the Jaguar fans out there that are going to be watching the game and may not make that trip. He's going to be the voice of today's ball game on SWAC TV. Good morning, LaRon.
Good morning, my man Perry. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Listen, I've been telling my fans, the people that's been listening, my audience, I said, man, I might be the only fan in the stands. I called Ladarius Skelton. I said, look, bro, we got to go support him. So it may be me and Ladarius in the stands today and maybe a handful of other people, but it's not going to be the typical fan base that people are used to seeing with the Jaguar Nation. As you know, Southern right now struggling with only one win on the season, and Jaguar fans wanted change. We got it with Terrence Graves now out the door, and now interim coach Fred McNair. Of course, we know from Alcorn, he was the quarterback coach at Southern. He's now taking over the program, and listen, that's where we at right now. I think most Jaguar fans are they're treating this almost like it's the NFL. They ready to be done so we can get the number 1 draft pick. They're almost over it. They're ready to get to the Bayou Classic and call it a day, but still got some games left, and starting with today. But let me ask you this. You're calling games on SWAC TV, man. What has that opportunity been like for you, man, for plenty of people across the region and the nation to be able to keep up with you and listen to you as you report these games?
Man, it's been great. It's been great. The SWAC has done a great job setting it up and running the SWAC. And I think it's great for our kids, man. They get the opportunity to be seen nationwide, well, really worldwide, because you can stream it from anywhere in the world. But I think it's a great opportunity to showcase the SWAC sports and just show the type of athletes we have, man, in several sports, not only in football, but they're doing volleyball and soccer matches and, of course, basketball and baseball, softball coming up. So I think it's a great opportunity for our kids. And, again, we talk about the NIL era, another opportunity to showcase some of our kids to possibly, get them some NIL deals. So it's just been fantastic all year.
Let's talk about some SWAC football, and let's look back last week, right? A lot of football to be played. I start over in Prairie View, Texas. Prairie View took on Lincoln. Once again, this Lincoln team has been all over the place. UAPB has played them. Valley has played them. Alcorn has played them. Prairie View has played. Are they auditioning to be in the SWAC? What are they doing? And it seems like every week they're having a hard time getting – and they're from California. I don't know if they ever go back to California, LaRon. I don't know if they just go from one state to the next and just chill out for the whole week. Because I can imagine those kids cannot take that type of travel week in and week out going from the West Coast to Central Standard Time every weekend.
And then financially, man, they must be pretty well off because they mentioned they may be honorary members of the SWAC this year, as many SWAC teams as they played. But just looking at their roster, man, and it's kind of funny because they have some nice-looking sized athletes. A lot of them were young. I think they had maybe one senior on the team, maybe 2 juniors, so everybody else was sophomore and freshman. So they've made their tour this year, but they've had some tough games in the SWAC.
Prairie View gets the victory at home. It was homecoming, as Coach Tremaine Jackson says. Happy homecoming, and they were able to get it done. I know he was talking about his fan base last week, saying he was standing in where they sell tickets at the ticket office and was asking, why isn't there a line for fans? Guess what? They have an opportunity today with Alabama State coming into town. Alabama State still in the hunt of things over in the SWAC East. Prairie View right now at the top of the SWAC West. Let's move on to another game last week. How about the Braves of Alcorn State getting the victory 32-10 over Mississippi Valley State. You got a chance to see Alcorn State up close and personal. Southern will be playing Alcorn next week over in Lorman. What did you see from the Braves?
Well, I think they have a team similar to ours. They need to work on a couple of things as far as detail-wise. We were able to get the big win over them at the Southern Heritage Classic. And, of course, they've had their struggles this year, both offensively and defensively. But anytime you're talking about a Cedric Thomas team, you definitely have to be aware.
Let me tell you something. Cedric Thomas might get ran out of Lorman, Mississippi if he don't get no more wins.
Yeah, they're probably calling for his head right about now.
Let's move on. We talk about the Magic City Classic. Listen, first take was, did you see Cam Newton fighting the Bulldog?
Yeah, that's all over the place right now.
I mean, just open hand smacked the hell out of that Bulldog, knocked him senseless. I say, stop playing with me.
I wonder if we're going to see anything else about that, man.
Well, look.
I hope not, because I don't think it was that serious. I thought it was kind of jokingly.
He didn't want his hat knocked off his head. Cam is very sensitive about his hats. And that Bulldog knocked his hat off his head, I think maybe playfully. But you can't play around with a big 6'5", big dude, tank like Cam Newton. He ain't nobody to just play around with. He play rough.
Correct.
And how about Alabama State? They smacked the hell out of Alabama A&M on the football field, 56-13. Listen, Andrew Body, I continue to tell everybody after that game against UAB to start the season when Trent Dilford and company had a tough time. It took everything out of UAB late in that game to get the victory. Right then, I think we saw Andrew Body step up and become the offensive player of the year in the SWAC. But, of course, you got to let the games be played. I was up in Jackson, Mississippi for Jackson State's homecoming for the Jackson State, Alabama State, and Alabama State game. And, listen, it was everything advertised because it, to me, at that time, was the two best teams in the SWAC. And watching Jacoby and Morgan, who is the preseason SWAC Offensive Player of the Year, take on Andrew Body, who wants to be the SWAC Offensive Player of the Year. It came down to the 2-yard line, and Jackson State held on with their defense. But nonetheless, Bama State had a week off, and they shook back and just stumped their biggest rival the way that they did. This game was over even before halftime. But Andrew Body accounting for 6 touchdowns in this ball game as Alabama State moves on, man. Listen, you guys got to see him. I'm going to tell you, Alabama State ain't a team you want to see, especially that late in the season, LaRon.
Absolutely, man. It's going to be a tough matchup, especially in hostile territory. And this kid is very impressive, man. I think he'll have the opportunity to play on that next level, man, because I've seen the things he's done this year, and he's as good as advertised. So we have our hands full, and, you have to play your best ball against teams like that. Truly
a dual-threat quarterback in this league, and right now he's an explosive one, and he has my vote for SWAC Offensive Player of the Year. Let's see if Alabama State can get hot down the stretch, keep their contention for a SWAC Eastern Division title alive. And then let's talk about the big game over in Las Vegas. It was the Las Vegas HBCU Classic between the Grambling State Tigers and the Jackson State Tigers. Now, we know, anybody that know this rival between these two teams know it is always tough for Jackson State, no matter the record, when they're taking on Grambling. And it was a surprise last year as Jackson State has seemed to be the best team in the conference. Their one loss was to Grambling. Although it did not count as a conference game in a non-conference matchup, they just completely whooped up on the Tigers of Jackson State up in the hole last year because of the turnovers that they were able to take advantage of. Then this year, this game over in Las Vegas, a big crowd. They announced about 40,000 people. I loved every moment to see the Tigers of Jackson and Grambling. I heard somebody say the airport was full of people. They had a pep rally on the strip. All of what you thought could happen to get the interest of this game on the West Coast was there, and Grambling State finds a way to get it done and upset a FCS top 25 Jackson State Tigers in this ball game. And let's talk about Grambling a little bit, right? 20 first downs in this ball game, 7 of 13 on third down, 1 of 1 on fourth down. But when it mattered most, offense stepped up. 365 total yards of offense, 243 passing for Grambling, 122 on the ground. They had a turnover by way of fumble, but for Jackson State, who came up short, 25 first downs, 8 of 15 on third down, 448 total yards, 950 yards passing, 198 on the ground. And listen, I think for myself, you and the entire community, we want to send a huge prayer to Xavier T-Set. He's from right in Baton Rouge, went to high school at Scotlandville High School, right down the street from Southern University. If anybody knows the proximity, literally, you can just step out and look up the street and see Scotlandville High School from Southern. He was a former quarterback at Southern. He transferred out of the program last year to head to Grambling. He was injured in this game, and we're not sure yet. I just know the family wants some privacy in terms of his mother and everybody else, but we also want to say our hearts and prayer go out to Xavier and T-Set with I hope with a great and speedy recovery from that injury that he suffered in that game. But he put it all out on the line for Grambling in this ball game. He was 16 of 26 passing for 232 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 8 carries for 15 yards and a touchdown. How about Trey Bradford at the running back position for the Tigers of Grambling? 11 carries for 58 yards in this ball game. Then we look on the other side for Jackson State. They lost their starting quarterback with a foot injury, which I've heard the reports may be out for the rest of the season. That's Jacoby Morgan, the preseason SWAC Offensive Player of the Year. 3 of 6 on this ball game for 63 yards. Then Jared Lockhart came in and took over in this one. 3 of 8 for 96 yards for a touchdown. A lot of us saw him in that game against Tuskegee as they let Jacoby Morgan rest, and Lockhart really took over in that game. I like the way that they used Davenport in the run game, who had 11 carries for 98 yards. He's almost like a Swiss Army guy, Swiss Army knife for the Jackson State. But Lockhart also carried 7 times for 44 yards and a touchdown. Ahmad Miller had a quiet day. Normally he's dominant. 11 carries for 24 yards. And Nate Rampart, the transfer from Mississippi Valley, big day for him. 4 receptions for 126 yards and 1 touchdown. How about this, LaRon? Grambling kicks the go-ahead field goal to upset Jackson State over in Las Vegas. And if you're a Southern fan out there, you couldn't do nothing but just laugh just on the inside. Because one thing we do not like is the Jackson State Tigers. Now, people think we hate Grambling. We just don't like them for that one day in the Bayou Classic. That's really cousins, right? That's just your cousin, right? That's auntie who went to Grambling. That's uncle who went to Southern. We're going to love each other after. But Jackson, let me tell you something, LaRon. There's no love there. It never will be, and it just can't be.
I hear that. And you said it earlier, man. It just seems like Grambling has the number of Jackson State. And every year you're going to have that one signature game, that big upset. And typically for the past couple of years, it's been the Grambling State upset in Jackson State.
LaRon, let's get ready to take a break, man. Listen, you ready? You want to keep rolling with me? Or do you got to go? If you got to go, then you got to go.
I'm here.
All right, and we're going to talk about some games around the SWAC and just an outlook as we move forward for the rest of the season. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal.
The SU Band will perform for you. Red Light Special, Director, Band Director Band. Associate Director Band, Mr. William Young.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. I am Perry White reporting live from Pine Bluff, Arkansas this weekend as the Jaguars are taking on the Golden Lions. My man, LaRon Marbley, here with me this morning. Good morning, LaRon.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, man. Listen, wake up, man. Get ready to go. You're going to be on SWAC TV. Everybody going to be listening and watching to you. And I thank you for sticking around with me, man. Look, I can't help myself when I get a chance to talk to you because we don't get a chance to do this often on this level. But, man, I really respect the work that you do. I listen to you all the time, especially when I tune in to Floyd's show, and I always hear your sports report. And as you give the sports report about all the teams around the state, man, I really do enjoy having that conversation. So I appreciate you for taking the time with me this morning.
Man, I appreciate you, and it's my pleasure, man. It's my pleasure.
Listen, let's talk about some games around the SWAC today besides the UAPB and Southern game. We'll get to that and save that for last. But I want your thoughts on this. How about Alabama State and Prairie View? Both teams, Prairie View comes in 6-2 at the top of the SWAC West, 4-0. Alabama State comes in, they're 5-2 with one loss in conference play. Of course, they're on the road to Jackson State, but they're finding a way to win. You're starting to see the SWAC at this point. It will start to eliminate itself in terms of teams in contention. But your thoughts on this big matchup over in Prairie View with Alabama State and Prairie View with some SWAC championship implications on the line?
And you're absolutely right. It's starting to shape up as we get close to the end of the season. That's going to be a game that this is going to be a game that a lot of people are going to be keeping an eye on because it kind of matches up one of the better teams in the East with the top team from the West. So you saw how tough that Alabama State played Jackson State. I think Prairie View is kind of trying to gauge against Alabama State in this ball game to see kind of where they stand from a team from the East side. So I think it's going to be a very important game. Prairie View is hot right now, so I think they have the slight edge, especially being at home.
Another one right here happening up in Grambling, Louisiana in the hole. Alabama A&M going on the road. Sam Shade licking his wounds, but they lost their starting quarterback, Cornelius Brown, who did not play last week or the week before. And they're stumbling right now without him as they take on Grambling, who has the momentum coming out of that victory with Jackson State.
And that's exactly it. They're flying high right now. Big win in Las Vegas. In a setting like that coming up, I think they'll be riding this emotional high for the next few games. So I think they have the favor, again, being at home as well.
Looking at Alcorn State going down to Houston, Texas to take on Texas Southern. How about Texas Southern? Only one conference loss, and that is to Prairie View, who they lost to on the last play of the game during the Labor Day Classic. But Texas Southern is still in the hunt, and they're taking on Alcorn State today.
And now that's the surprise team of the year to me, Texas Southern. When we faced those guys down in Houston, they shocked me. I mean, they were long, they were athletic.
Who the hell was that Texas Southern team, LaRon? Who the hell was that showed up?
I don't think UAPB got off the bus that game. They just came out, but they really impressed me. Not only we didn't play well in that game, but they still impressed me the way they moved the football and the way, especially on defense, linebackers, their front seven. They played very well. So that's the surprise team of the year to me is Texas Southern. So I think the Western Division as well as the entire SWAC just need to keep an eye on them because that's a very good team.
Yeah, Chris Dishman has those guys ready to play and go. Mississippi Valley taking on Bethune-Cookman. And one thing I will say about Bethune-Cookman, Cam Ramsden, the quarterback, really gets that offense going. This offense has scored 30-plus points in all of these games going on. And, look, they really caught my attention when I saw the game against South Carolina State. Right, South Carolina State put up 50-plus points, but it was the amount of points I saw Bethune-Cookman put up. And then when they put up 45 on Southern, I said, hey, let's just bag off a little bit and take a look at this team. They may not be everything you want defensively as they continue to grow, but offensively, they have the firepower. And like I said, it started with the quarterback, Cam Ramsden.
And you hit the nail right on the head. They have athletes, especially on that offensive side of the football, running backs, receivers, and it all goes around their starting quarterback, and he's a very capable leader for their team. And he's smart with it. He tries to get the ball in the hands of his playmakers, but if he need be, he can be the playmaker. So very tough Bethune team.
Then here it is, Jackson State going on the road, taking on Florida A&M up in Tallahassee. And how about FAMU just a few weeks ago? It was fire James Cozy. Now, they still talking about that. I had Von Wilson on the show last week. He said, hey, that seat is heating up. They're not impressed with the wins that they've gotten, but nonetheless, they've beaten Alcorn State and Southern back-to-back weeks, now putting themselves back in contention in the SWAC East, coming up at 2-1 in today's ball game against Jackson State, who took their first loss on the season last week. So the winner of this one could be in a better position than the loser. And listen, Bragg Memorial Stadium is a tough place to play. Not so much this year's kind of lost its luster for sure, but nonetheless, this place ought to be packed out today as the Tigers of Jackson State going to be on the road. And trust me, FAMU is going to do everything they can to make this a hostile environment. Your thoughts on this Jackson State FAMU game, which has given us some great games over the past few years since FAMU has joined the SWAC?
You're absolutely right, and this may be the biggest game of the day. I mean, yeah, both teams coming out of that side right there, and Jackson State coming off the big loss against Grambling State in Las Vegas, knowing they're looking to bounce back. Florida A&M kind of on the roll, winning the last two. And it's a very important game for, as you mentioned, for Coach Cozy. So I think that may be the biggest game of the night, and that may have SWAC Eastern champion implications in that game.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough for Jackson State as Jacobian Morgan, their starting quarterback, is going to be out doubtful for this one and probably for the rest of the season. We'll see a foot injury possibly for him. And so we'll see what Lockhart does or anybody else from the starting quarterback position for Jackson State. And then today's big game, well, not so big game in my opinion. I mean, have the mighty have fallen. The Jaguars stagger into this one, LaRon, 1-7 with not one SWAC win on the season. And we're talking about November. Never thought I'd see this day, but I'm here to see it here in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, man. Your thoughts on this matchup and keys to victory for the Golden Lions, the Big Southern?
Well, it happens, man. Eventually, you have to have a down year, man. Come on now.
Not this down, LaRon. I can take 7-4 is a down year. 6-5 is down year. 1-7, we need to just blow this year up and try it again.
Well, yeah, it's definitely been tough on you guys. We've had our situations as well, man. But Coach McNair, man, you definitely have to always be aware, man. He's a seasoned veteran coach. Did a great job when he was over at Alcorn. So, and he has plenty of knowledge about the conference, about football, the game of football. So, it's somebody you definitely have to be aware of. But we're going to try to put it on you guys today. You know how we have our own rivalry, and again, I think it starts with the offensive line. Jeremiah Rogers is the kid's name. It's going to start with him and that offensive line. If they can kind of control that line of scrimmage, and of course the trenches, we talk about it all the time. The trenches is where the game is won or lost, offensively and defensively. So if we can establish a run game is what we're going to have to do. If we can establish a run game, we play a lot better running our play action, and when our run game is successful, we throw the ball a lot better. And defensively, we just got to tackle well. We did a poor job last week of wrapping up and getting people to the ground. So we got to make sure we wrap up and follow details and make sure you wrap up, get the guy to the ground, and play smart. So in this kind of game, though, you have to watch out for that third phase as well, Perry, because the special teams can very well determine the outcome of this game.
Let me give you a quick stat in this one, man. Southern all-time versus UAPB. 42 wins, 11 losses, 2 ties. Southern currently on a 4-game win streak against the Golden Lions. Southern right now in the past 10 matchups is 9-1. Of course, that one win for UAPB coming in that spring 2021 football season in which the Golden Lions beat Southern and ended up going to play against Alabama A&M in that spring SWAC championship. Hey, listen, this all-time 42-11, we need to make it 43-11 today, man. Look, that's how down I am because Jaguar fans are actually nervous, and it's been a long time. If UAPB beats us today, brother, I just don't know. I don't know, LaRon. I'm going to eat my turkey leg, and I'm going to be sad today in the stand. That's all I'm going to be.
Well, Perry, you could have kept that stat, first of all. You could have kept that. We didn't need
you don't want to hear that 42-11 all-time record?
We didn't need to know that stat, man.
And that's for my Jaguar fan. I'm trying to give us a little hope, man. I'm trying to sprinkle a little joy on us today. But, LaRon, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for coming on, man, and you'll be calling the game. Who's going to be calling the game with you today? It's going to be Carlos?
Yes, it'll be Carlos James.
All right, so everybody out there listening, if you're going to watch the Southern versus UAPB game today on SWAC TV, my man LaRon Marbley will be on the call with former UAPB baseball coach Carlos James. Hey, he's a zebra as well, so we're going to have a zebra and a cardinal on that thing. So nonetheless, man, hey, everybody that'll be tuning in, you'll be hearing the voice of LaRon Marbley in today's game. LaRon, you got anything anywhere people can keep up with you, man?
Oh, yeah, you can always follow me on social media. I'm on X, I'm on Facebook, L Boogie at Deltaplex Radio, or the voice of the UAPB Golden Lions, of course. It'll be on SWAC TV, as you mentioned earlier as well. So definitely appreciate you as well, man. And I always enjoy our conversations, man. We don't get to do it often, but it's always a pleasure when I hear from you, my man.
Hey, I might sneak in the booth up there with y'all today, man. Eat my
You are
turkey leg
welcome.
to say what's up to you.
Yes, sir. You're very welcome.
All right, man. That's the voice of LaRon Marbley. He is the voice of the UAPB Golden Lions. And, man, he's all things sports right here in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Let's get ready to take a break. We come back on the other side. We'll talk some basketball. Southern Hope will be up in Fayetteville taking on the Arkansas Razorbacks on Monday. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal. Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. I am Perry White. I'm live in Pine Bluff, Arkansas today as the Jaguars take on the UAPB Golden Lions. But look, as we talked about football, it's time to talk about some basketball because basketball will tip off on Monday in Arkansas, just a little bit further north here from me, about 3.5 more hours up in Fayetteville and Bud Walton Arena, the University of Arkansas and Southern University on Monday. Nobody better to talk about the basketball season starting off on the men's side than my man, the head basketball coach at Southern University, Coach Kevin Johnson. Good morning, Coach KJ.
Perry, good morning.
Glad to hear your voice, man. It's that time of the year, baby. It's time to get it going.
2 days out. I tell you, boy, it comes quicker and quicker every year.
Talk to me about getting your team prepared to go on the road, taking on John Calipari and the Arkansas Razorbacks, who have, listen, I'm torn in this one because people know I always say I got a favorite Confederate team. The Razorbacks are my favorite Confederate team because, you know, I'm from Arkansas. So, but I love my Jag. I'm torn in this one. Coach, why did y'all do this to me?
Well, Perry, if you like me, then you side with the underdog, so you should be all Jaguar in this
Let's
one.
go Jaguars.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this because you guys are going to Fayetteville on Monday, and then you're going to turn around on Wednesday and head to Milwaukee to take on Marquette. So those first two games against prominent opponents, going to have your work cut out for you, but you are a guy that knows how to get a basketball team prepared and ready. And talk about your team heading into these two games to start the season.
Well, it's as good as it gets in terms of competition. You're talking about two teams that are, top 25 teams and teams that are expected to play deep in March. And not only that, I think the other thing our players get excited is both of these teams have guys that are going to play at the next level. And, even watching Arkansas in the preseason, there's, 5, 6 guys potentially that could end up playing in the NBA. And so there'll be a personal challenge for my guys, but this is about us getting better. It's about us. It's not about our opponents, and that's what we're going to try to do in every game.
How you been doing, man? Just first of all, I always got to ask about you because we always talk about the mental health and the stress levels of the players, but I got to make sure my coach good. How you doing, Coach? Everything been good?
Good. As long as the guys are working hard, then that helps coach, right?
That's
right. But the stresses in this game, and the players will tell you, one of the things that I'm always concerned about is their mental health, right? And I want to make sure that they're in a good place mentally, because if they are, then they have a chance to to play their best.
Let's look at this ball game with the University of Arkansas. What are you looking for your team heading into this ball game? Like you said, the underdog, but what are you looking to grow out of your team in this non-conference, as you guys typically play one of the tougher non-conference schedules in the SWAC?
Sure. Well, I want our guys to execute offensively, right? And the problems that Arkansas presents is they have tremendous length and athleticism. And so if you can execute a team with that kind of size and speed and athletic ability, then when you play teams of lesser athletic ability, you should be able to execute, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's always one of our goals. And then on the defensive side of the ball, it's about getting stops and trying to get into a position where we can string together some stops, because those are the things that change momentum in games. So, again, trying to have some possessions where we can string together stops on defense and then execute offensively.
I'm looking forward to this game, actually. I don't think I've ever seen Southern and the University of Arkansas play. Has this game ever happened before, to your knowledge?
Yeah, before I got here. I think Southern has probably in the last maybe 10 years or so, if I'm not mistaken, have played there at least twice. I'm certainly no stranger to Bud Walton. I had the privilege back in the day to coach against the legend, the Nolan Richardson. So
rolling with Nolan, baby.
Yeah. 94 national championship team. Boy, how can you forget that? But yeah, it should be a great environment for the guys, and with every great challenge, it's a great opportunity.
And I wish you guys all the best as you get ready to get this season kicked off. I know you're a busy man. I appreciate you for taking the time this morning, being able to get with me. You guys will be doing all this traveling, moving around, but nonetheless, it is basketball season. And I think, listen, Coach, for many Southern fans,
yep,
we've moved on to basketball season, okay? This is what we're looking forward to. So that's why I was like, let me make sure we get Coach, because I think the fans right now are saying, hey, football just not ready to see some basketball.
Well, ride or die Jaguars, right? We're going to get it turned around. We're going to get us a couple of dubs before this thing ends. And, of course, Bayou Classic, right? But basketball's here. So we're ready for it.
Yes, sir. Coach, thank you for coming on this morning, man. Look, I'll be tuned in Monday, ready to go. And as you said, I'm going with my Jaguars. I'm torn, but guess what? That's what my degree says, Southern University. So I'm going to roll with my Jaguars. I'm roll with Coach KJ.
Sounds good. Go Jags. Thanks for having me.
Get the upset, Coach. Bring it on back.
All right, Terry. Have a good one.
All right, everybody. That was my man, Coach Kevin Johnson, the head basketball coach at Southern University, as they take on the Arkansas Razorbacks on Monday. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's show. Mike, if you can, talk on the mic and let me know how long we got. You got to let me know, Mike. Tell me. You got to talk in the mic, Mike. You got to talk in the mic, Mike, and let me know, because I don't know. How long we got, Mike?
Got about 3 minutes.
All right, thank you. Mike's back in the studio in Baton Rouge, so we got about 3 minutes before we get ready to get up out of here. I'm in Pine Bluff. It is a little cool up here this morning. It ain't quite the weather I've been accustomed to down in Louisiana, but nonetheless, it is Southern versus UAPB. Kickoff at 2 o'clock as the Jaguars and the Golden Lions will take on each other today. Listen, both teams are struggling coming into this game. I'm wondering, will myself, I hit Ladarius Skelton. I said, look, bruh, they need us. So he said, look, let me know. We'll make it over there. So I don't know. We might be the only two Jaguars, and I'm going to see if Ladarius got a little eligibility level. Unfortunately, he does not. We can sure use it, though. But at the end of the day, man, we up here in Pine Bluff. We're going to be watching the Golden Lions. And for you guys that'll be watching at home, guess what? SWAC TV will be carrying the game. I have my man LaRon Marbley on talking to us about the broadcast. He'll be having on that broadcast with Carlos James, the former head baseball coach at UAPB. Want to thank Tasha Clark Amark for coming on. She is the CEO of the East Baton Rouge Council on Aging, for all she does and talking about the agency. Want to thank Coach Barry Doyle, the head bowling coach over at Southern University. He's the women's bowling coach. They're over in Houston this weekend for the Sam Houston State Tournament. Want to thank my man LaRon Marbley. And last of all, I want to thank Coach Kevin Johnson, Coach KJ, coming on talking to us. My man Mike back in the studio. He back in Baton Rouge, enjoying himself in the 225. I'm up here in the 870, just trying to support the Jaguars. And listen, I don't care if y'all talk about me or whatever y'all say. I still go follow the Jags when y'all at home. Now, I didn't go to Bethune-Cookman and Fresno. I didn't go to those games. But I'm in Pine Bluff, though. Where y'all at? Y'all bet y'all going to be up here with me? Probably not. The band not coming. It's just going to be one of those days. So I got about 30 minutes to give them today. I mean, I got to see what this thing looking like into halftime. But I'm here nonetheless. If it ain't looking too good, I'll leave and go get me some fried catfish or eat me a turkey leg, and I drown myself in food for the rest of the day until I drive back and come back to Baton Rouge. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Be sure to keep up with the Jaguar Journal across all social media. We're on X, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on TikTok. You can also keep up with us and subscribe to our Jaguar Journal YouTube channel, as we continuously appreciate you guys as we grow, as well as on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. From myself, Perry White, reporting live in Pine Bluff, Arkansas today. My man Mike back in the studio, my man CJ Gidry, and the entire Jaguar Journal crew. We want to thank you guys for tuning in each and every Saturday, and I'll be back next time at the same time, the same place. As always, it's the Jaguar Journal. Have a good weekend, everybody. What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.